Predictable Revenue by Aaron Ross. So here we are on the cover of the book, and the cover has an illustration by Aaron, and this illustration explains what the book is about. The review is about 3 great big ideas that I took out of this book that I want to share with you. But before we go to those 3 big ideas, let's just have a quick look what this book is about in general, because the cover illustrates it perfectly. So what we have here is what Aaron calls a hot coals sketch. A, B, C are different time stages of company growth, and on the y-axis, doesn't say why, but let's assume on the vertical axis, we have the company revenue or the company sales number, and this chart illustrates the company growth. Now, the stage A in company growth is where company founders, CEOs, people who started the company, entrepreneurs, they created a product and they sold first copies to customers through their network. When we start a business, we know someone who knows someone, our investors know someone, our partners know someone, and this is a great way to sell first copies of our product or get first customers for our product, for our service. After stage A, there is the stage B, where we exhausted those opportunities, where, look, we already sold to everyone we know, and we cannot predictably scale, we cannot predictably grow, we do not know where to get customers. And then there is this stage C, where luckily we passed through the stage B, we figured out how to create customer acquisition, how to generate sales, finally our company is growing, we are acquiring new customers, the business is going up. So predictable revenue is how to get to this stage C, how to pass through this hot coal period where the company could just disappear because you don't have money coming in, and get to a stage where money starts coming in. Look, if you are CEO, if you are a business owner, if you are planning to start a business, it's quite clear why you want to read this book. But if you are a sales rep and if you're a business developer, stay tuned, because there are a couple of really great ideas in this book for you as well. So that's what the book is about. Now let's go to the first great idea, big idea, and it's about lead generation. It's in chapter 6, not chapter 1. And it's illustrated in this graph. So as I mentioned, and what Aaron says, there are 3 ways to generate leads. There are seeds, word of mouth, personal relationships. So this is what I mentioned in stage A, where company founders reach out to their network, and that's how they generate leads, and that's how they get their first sales. Now, nets is marketing programs. This is where we create blog, YouTube channel, where we start posting on LinkedIn, and we hope to attract people into our network. Now, founders that come from engineering, scientific, technical background, they are very comfortable with nets. We don't want to do hard selling. We hope that someone finds us. We want to do as much marketing as possible, hoping that people will come in. And the problem that I face as a sales coach when I deal with startups is that lots of startups, after they exhaust these opportunities of seeds, of word of mouth and relationships, they start building their nets. They start inverting in marketing programs. But guess what? Marketing programs do not generate you leads straight away. It takes a long time for them to pick up. And if you are in that hot calls period, you cannot wait for those leads to come in. And another big problem with marketing programs, they do not generate in 99% of the cases, they do not generate you high quality, high value customers. Yes, you can attract low quality, low value clients and customers, but you cannot attract high value clients with marketing programs. And that's why what Aaron is saying here is that in order for company to grow, in order to acquire high value customers, you need to have outbound sales. Yes, outbound sales, that's something we are not comfortable with, reaching out to people, reaching out to businesses that never heard of us, and say, hey, let's work together. We can solve your problem. And especially with people who come from scientific technical marketing background, scientific technical engineering backgrounds, outbound sales, it's like all the fears come in. We're not comfortable with knocking at someone's door. Imposter syndrome comes in, like we don't want to do it, we don't want to bother it. But guess what? This is exactly what we have to do if we want our business to grow. And further example, other than just looking at this chart, let's just have a look at this very, very beginning of the book. I think I have a bookmark here. Yep. So start here, and Aaron here shares his experience of working at Salesforce, and if you dive a little bit deeper, what happened is Salesforce had a marketing program. People were reaching out to them, but they were low-value customers. And what Salesforce.com wanted to do, they wanted to reach out to Fortune 5,000 companies, to big companies, and start doing business with them. And the solution to the problem is Aaron helped Salesforce.com and later other companies to set up outbound processes. So with outbound processes, both Salesforce.com and the companies that Aaron worked with later managed to build those, get to that high growth phase, to that C growth phase, and start acquiring high value customers, outbound processes. So first big idea, let me jump to, I prepared a slide here. So first big idea, something that you need to get out of this book, out of this video. If you read the book, you obviously dive deeper into details as you have go outbound. If you want to attract big customers, outbound sales is for you. That's exactly what you need to do. Let's jump to, that's the first big idea. Let's jump to the next big idea. And next big idea is cold calling 2.0. Cold calling 2.0, it's just, look, it's kind of that really nice thing but it's not what you think it is. So what Aaron says, cold calling doesn't work anymore, and some people may just rejoice. Hey, here you go, I don't need to make cold calls. But guess what? That's not what Aaron calls cold calling 2.0. You still need to do cold calls. But what he's saying here is that instead of just doing cold calling, you have to use multiple communication channels. You need to use cold emails, sequences of cold emails. You need to reach out to the right people. You use LinkedIn, you use snail mail, you use all of that together. And when you use all those communication channels together, combined by reaching out to select people that you want to talk to over multiple communication channels, including cold calls, that's when you get great results with outbound sales. And this is exactly the practice of most SaaS companies today. This is the best practice of inside sales groups, inside sales teams. Right now, if you want to book meetings with outbound approach, you use this multiple communication channel approach where you reach out to the same group of people over several channels. Finally, they realize, oh yeah, someone is serious, you are serious, and they pick up the phone and they start talking to you. Many cases I had personally when I called someone and I've heard from them, oh yeah, I've seen your emails, but I was too busy to answer. Or I've seen your emails, but now once I hear your voice, I realize that you are a human being. Let's talk. So I send cold emails, people too busy to reply, don't take me seriously. Then finally I call them. It's not exactly cold call anymore because they kind of remember who I am. It's not 100% cold. It's already like 10% warm. But the communication continues because I also call them. Also, someone I would follow on LinkedIn, then I would call, or my cold email signature has my LinkedIn connection, my LinkedIn profile, like LinkedIn link in there. So cold calling 2.0, that's a second big idea from this book. If you are not embracing it yet, start embracing it. Multiple outreach over multiple communication channels. So cold calling 2.0. Use multiple channels in your cold outreach. How do I make this thing nicer? It just looks so ugly. Don't even know. Looked even uglier. But anyway, go outbound is a big idea number 1. Cold calling 2.0 is big idea number 2. Let's get to big idea number 3. And hopefully I'll go to the straight bookmark straight away. But how do I find it? The big idea number 3 is that salespeople shouldn't prospect. Nope. Yes, here you go. So this is big idea number 3. So let me explain you what's happening here. What Aaron is saying is that professional salespeople who already experience, they shouldn't be doing outbound prospecting. And this goes against everything you can think about. What Aaron is saying that there should be separation of labor in a sales team. If you think of a soccer team or if you think of any sports team, you don't have everyone performing the same function. In a soccer team, and like if you're in Europe, we call it football, there is a striker, there is a goalie, there is defense. So everyone performs their function. In a sales team, there should be the same thing. There should be a person dedicated to setting up meetings. If your sales team even has 2 people in there, what Aaron is saying, have one person book meetings. They are business development representative. You call them SDR, BDR, sales development representative, business development representative. That person needs to focus on booking meetings only. And then there should be another role, which is account executive, is the person who is exclusively focused on closing those sales. Few reasons why this should happen. First of all, account executives, people who already have sales experience, who are good at closing sales, they usually are not good at prospecting. They're not good at outbound prospecting. If you give them a lead, they close it. If you don't give them a lead, they're gonna struggle. Now, account executive also, if they switch from one activity to another, they cannot do it. And they don't like doing it. When I was a territory manager at Leica, what happened is I had so many responsibilities, and prospecting, outbound prospecting was the last thing on my mind. It was the most stressful thing. I would postpone it until Friday, and I would never do it until I finally realized that my sales funnel is empty, and then it was too late. So that was a big mistake from my last job as an account manager that bit me in the back. So account executives shouldn't prospect. Now, what happens? So if you have a sales team of 2 people or more, one person is generating leads, another person is closing them. And what happens if you're a one-person team? Well, then you can go Jeb Blunt's approach, create a golden hour where, okay, this is the time of the day when I'm prospecting only, and the rest of the time I'm closing sales or working on other parts of the business. If you are a CEO, if you are one-person operation, or if you are the only person responsible for sales, then you need to have a dedicated time for prospecting when you prospect and do nothing else. But if you hire a marketing person or if you hire a sales rep, first of all, make them book meetings for you. Then you'll be able to close them. So that separation of labor is a third great idea from Aaron Ross's book. Let's put it here. So separation or teamwork, person teamwork, BDR plus AE. So AE is account executive, BDR is business development representative. First one is booking meetings, second one is closing sales. If you are a CEO of a small business, your first salesperson, make sure, or marketing person, make sure that they do appointment setting for you, and then you'll be closing sales.